Welcome to the channel Ray Supp, R-A-Y space S-U-P-P. I said fuck it, I'm gonna throw up one today. I said what I said earlier, like I said I was upset, but when I really actually sat there and thought about it, as I was working out, I've been working out, it's been about a half hour. Got some stuff done throughout the day. I had to go to Walmart, get some jeans for the job. Hopefully they call me tomorrow. I'm gonna try to push for it real quick so I can get things rolling. I'm just trying to learn to accept some of the things. Some of it could just be my mind. I could just be tripping or whatever like that. But at the same time, it's kind of like I'm just gonna dive in deep. You know what I mean? Whether I make it on that end or I don't, I do have some escape plans. If Plan A doesn't work, I got a Plan B. Or I just buy a Glock 9 and then everyone's gonna get robbed if I run broke. But anyways, I figured, like I said, I might as well just keep going, whether people like the videos or not. I'm just gonna keep pushing them out for me personally, right? This is something I like to do, and I'll just keep doing it. If it's keeping me motivated and keeping me happy, I'm just gonna keep doing it regardless. But anyways, I was looking over my reviews on the Ray Supp channel, and it was pretty crazy because I think it was a month ago I had about 25 views on one channel, or one of my when I was in the back over there running around with my puppy. I think I posted it on Facebook. We had a good day that day. It was about a month ago. That had 25 views on it. One of them actually, the one where I'm hitting the tree. I don't know if anybody's seen that one where I was like, bah, 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 at the end. I had 151 views on that one. And now when I think about it, when I was at the bar a lot, when I was working at the time over there, and just around town, going to the park and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Showing people that video to be like, look, you know, I do like the karate aspect, the kung fu shit, and you know, I worked my way up on a lot of aspects. Not that I personally fought anybody with that stuff. It was just the training. I did do some sparring a while back, some years back, and like I said, a lot of things happened with some of that stuff. So I just ended up just saying, fuck it. I knew all the fundamentals to things. So long story short, I just started self-taught, self-made, came up with my own techniques and routines and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of dudes that do the wrestling aspect. I don't like that shit. I think it's fairly gay. I mean, I could learn, you know, don't get me wrong, like the twists in the arm and the holds and stuff like that. But for me personally, I don't want to train out here. I've already had too many incidences with certain individuals where it's too shady. Someone's always trying to show you up or show you out. I did post something just recently on the Facebook. It was showing like the Shaolin masters and shit like that, like how they're training out there. I think one of them was like German or Dutch, because the Mr. Shahan Lee dude, I think he speaks over like between 5 to 6 different languages. I could be wrong. I want to limit it to like 3 or 4 just in case I'm wrong. But it's I don't know if it is German or if it's Dutch, but it was like you know, like weird shit like that. Like you can hear him when he's like you know, like like shit like that, you know. Like I said, the Dutch language, I can usually understand that. Like I can kind of pick up on that a little bit. When I was working at the loading dock, there was some Dutch people or German people or whatever that came in, and they're like oof, you know what I mean? So I was like, expect Netherlands, and they're like, yeah, Netherlands, you know. And a while back on one of my videos, because like I said, I don't know, because so one of the videos that I was listening to, their Dutch language that was spitting out versus the Pimsleur language program. Like when you say pardon, meaning like excuse me, right? And then when you say mevrouw means miss. But I think when they say miss on the video, when it was like it's like during your sleep, you go to sleep, you hear over 2,000 words or whatever like that, right? It was a little bit different. But I remember a while back on one of my videos, I said that I knew some of it. So it was like, ik spreek Engels means do you speak English? The other one's ik spreek Nederlands mean Dutch. Other one's perdón, my flower, excuse me, miss. And then the other one was an embellisher. Embellisher means a little bit, like, you know, just like kind of like when you speak in Spanish and they're like, oh, el español, like poquito, right? Like meaning a little bit. They might say it in different ways, different Hispanics and stuff like that, or Mexicans or whatever. But from what I remember in the Pimsler language, embellisher means a little bit. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of the language. I still haven't gotten into. What are you doing? Jesus Christ, and Anuki. Hold on one second. So a few things I learned about my puppy, right? If she's not trying to play, this is what I've learned. Like if I throw this ball, and most of the time she'll go and get it. She'll go and run and get it, right? But then there's times where, like, when I kept throwing it, she stopped chasing it, she kind of stared at it, and then looked back at me. Oh, she just brought it back. But sometimes if she doesn't go get it, she wants to fuck with me. She'll be like, alright. So I'll play with her like that. Like I'll slap box with her. But a moment ago, before I threw up the video, I swung my hand barely like this, just a little bit. And I forget how hard my hand is, you know. Like it's real, because of the knuckles, like the bare knuckle stuff, or like hitting brick and shit like that, hitting metal. I forget that it's real solid. So I fucking backhand her just barely, like I barely even swung my hand, and you hear it, boom, and she's like, oh, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I forget my strength, and yeah, that is a little scary, you know what I mean, because it's like, what if I get real heated one day and my adrenaline's up? I'm not gonna know how fucking more powerful I was, or how powerful I am versus like 9 years ago, you know what I mean, or 6 years ago, or whatever. Because okay, so just to put it in like a retrospect or better perspective, or however you want to put it, basically, when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing when it came to the boxing, right? Like when I first went there, they're like, oh, you're gonna want to stand like this and move back and move forward and move back, you know, keep back and forth with your feet. So they were trying to teach me footwork, right? But nobody was sitting there really kind of showing me, hey, bounce like this, do this and that, right? So I kept going back and forth. I felt fucking stupid. I didn't have any right gear. I just had some shorts. I was wearing my Nikes. And I looked at them, and they're looking at me, and I'm like, hey, dude, I feel fucking stupid doing this shit. They're like, just keep doing it until you find a rhythm, right? Like, and that's kind of like how it goes. Some people can show you. Like if I was to train somebody, I know it to a T now, where like if I were to train somebody, I can really get them on the bounce. I can really get them to really function and work the mechanicalisms and their legs and their body, especially if you're not used to, if you're not used to, you know, bouncing like this all the time. When you're doing that, you're using so many muscles back here, right? That you've never used. And yeah, like when I would work, I would move fast, but when it came to like bouncing and moving, there's so many muscles and tendons and veins and arteries in there that you don't even use. So when they're like fucking kind of like when your truck, right, when you have to have oil in your truck so the pistons can run, right? So for the first time, your pistons are kicking up in your fucking calves, right? So the next day, they're so tight and sore, so when you get up, you're like, oh, like you can fucking feel that shit, right? And so most of the time, what you do is like you get either lotion, I want to say like coconut oil is good, or you can use Vaseline, but you know, usually you would massage your legs, especially here, right? Like you would try to massage the soreness out, right? And so you can see my leg is nice and smooth, you know, it's real hard, the bone is. But from what I was learning, like I had hair here before. I used to have a lot of hair, and when I was rubbing, sometimes the hair would pull, and I was like, fuck. But then I was noticing when I would be watching shit, like I'm very observant. So when I was watching shit, I seen a lot of dudes that were naked, right? Like UFC fighters, boxers and shit. And I was like, what the fuck? And then somewhere along the line, I ended up hearing the dude like, yeah, I shaved my legs because when I was trying to fucking massage the shit, the hair kept pulling. It was fucking irritating. So I was like, fuck it, and he shaved. And I was like, you know what? I'm like, if all these fools are shaving, right? Like, it doesn't make you a girl, because, you know, us men think like that. Like, oh, it's not manly, you know? And at one point, yeah, I didn't think it was manly, you know what I mean? But I was like, fuck it, I shaved it, right? And then when I shaved it, I was like, man, it looks fucking sexy, you know what I mean? Like, hey, girls, it depends. Some girls like hairy-ass fucking dudes, whether it's on the chest or a little bush down here or something. Me, I'm all shaved up. Like, you know what I mean? I shave here. I'm baby smooth clean, so if they want to put it in their mouth, you know what I mean? So, anyways, back to my story about, you know, the boxing aspect. So I was learning the boxing, and then eventually I found my rhythm in the jump rope, so I was able to jump rope. I could still do it. I haven't done it in a while. It would take me a little bit to get back in the rhythm, because when you're off just a tad, you'll catch your foot and then do it again and do it again, and it's fucking annoying as shit. But you don't have to know that, you know what I mean? Because one thing I was learning when I was doing the boxing stuff, and when it came to okay, like the rhythms, right? The foot movement, that's very important. But when it came to rhythms, like, you know, like the speed bag, you know, you find your rhythm. The jump roping, you find your rhythm. It's good for the cardio. But I mean, even sprinting and jogging is the same shit. You know what I mean? You're probably going to get more out of that than you will jogging. Jogging is just more kind of like accuracy, small pivot points and shit like that. But for the most part, like even hand mitts, right? Like I was watching Roy Jones Jr. and he had an interview, and he's like, you know, some people like to beat up the bag and be on point with that. Some people like to beat the jump rope. You know, some people like to do the you know, like somebody will hold like a bag here and someone will kick it, you know what I mean? Like for training purposes. And then he's like, people like to beat hand mitts. You know, it looks real fancy. Like if you watch someone that's doing hand mitts with the dude and he's moving fast and he's like, right? Right? It looks good. But that's all coordination. You know what I mean? It's timed out. You do it repetitively. It's that simple. But when you're in there with somebody, it's not going to be set up like that. You know, the dude might fucking come to the left when you hit, when you throw out, and you miss him, bah, he fucking gets you, right? Or a fucking uppercut or something like that. So realistically, I understood what that fool was saying, you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he knows what he's talking about, because I mean, he did it repetitively too. Like one of those balls, I forget what it's called. It's like two strings that hang like this, and there's a ball that's in the center, and you kind of like, you know, and right. But this fool, he always had that good ass like hook. Like if you ever watch him in there, he's like, right. He was so accurate with that shit, especially with the ball, because it bounces around. He was so dead on. Like when I watched one of his I don't know what they are. They're like skits. Like if you go to like Roy Jones Jr. training, it'll show like his training methods and shit, right? And there was this one where like dudes were kind of around him, and he was putting in the work, like he was training, and he was hitting that ball like so precise and pivot, like barely anything, but he had a lot of strength even just in that snap, you know. And he was just fucking, but he was so dedicated to that, you know what I mean? That was his real shit, where he was like, you know, bam, like he would hit you. So if you ever watch some of my videos when I'm fucking hitting the bag and you see me fucking drop to the side and go, boo, right? Or if I go to the fucking bag, I got that from him. You know what I mean? Or if you see me like, I get that from Pacquiao and Sugar Ray Leonard, right? Sugar Ray, I think it's Sugar Ray Leonard, or I don't know, whatever. However, because there's two of those dudes. Sorry, I guess when I threw the tire, it ended up in the mop bucket because it bounces around. and she didn't really want to fuck with the mop because she knows I get mad when she. So she was like, "Daddy, come get the tire." Oh yeah, come here, Mama. I want to show you guys real quick. I gave her a haircut today, and she looks sick. Like, see, you can see her little, hey. See her mohawk? It's nice and clean. It's got all the braille. Like, you know, I shaved her down fairly good. I did her tail. I did under her. She looks good. Yeah, Mama, huh? She looks like a hyena, dude. Like, but like I said, like I take care of her, you know. After I shaved her up, it took honestly, like, you gotta have a lot of patience. I have a lot of fucking patience, and like I said, I used to help raise kids in California. Like my nephew Daniel and Frankie, I haven't talked to them in a long time. My nephew Daniel did hit me up a while back, like on Messenger, but I never got a response. I think he kind of like, I don't know, I think he gets in trouble a lot or something because like he has his phone and then he doesn't have his phone. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Uncle?" And I think he like tries to shoot out a code, and if I don't answer him right away, he probably puts it away and fucking turns it off and puts it back, or I don't know. So there's some weird shit going on. But I remember them when they were in their fucking diapers, dude. You know what I mean? Like they were like this fucking small, and now they're like grown up, like all super tall. My mom too just had recently got a picture. Like I said, I don't talk to some of my siblings. From my older sister, her son Mateo, from what I remember, he was fucking little. Now he's like grown. He's like 18. I'm like, man, where the fuck does the time go? But see, this is the trippy shit. I would expect myself to look like, after all these years seeing these kids of a generation before me, like before when I was younger, like I still look hella good. You know what I mean? Like I honestly don't feel my age, and like I said, biologically, like just with my body and the mechanicism or whatever, I can't even say it right, but the body mechanicism or whatever, I can't even say it, but you get what I'm saying. Just the way I treat my body, the way I do the meditation and the prayers and the eating and the aspect, and I didn't even show you this, but I have some watermelon juice. I'll show you what I have back over there. But this watermelon juice is a little bit different. All the other watermelon juice is actually just pure juice, just pure watermelon. This one I put a little bit of ginger, 1 orange, and like a half a lemon. And it was probably like about 30 ounces. I got to put that in my water app. But like I said in one of my other videos, I was going to explain some research about the lymphatic system, and I got it down right now. So, anyways, so basically, like I was saying, I help babysit a lot and stuff like that. So, like, it requires a lot of patience. You know what I mean? So, like I used to play with them. You know what I mean? Sometimes show them how to make dinner. We would just do family shit, and it would kind of give the mom a break because I know that it was very stressful for her. It was really hard, you know. Relationship stuff too, job aspects, going to school and stuff like that. Like she was trying to handle her business. Maybe at the same time too, like being a young individual, and then you know just the environment, being a young woman, you know what I mean, and being confused and you know and trying to learn things and you know. But I know she had a lot of respect for me. You know what I mean? She cared for me. And even though like like my ex hated when I would fucking drink, right? Like she would hate the drinking aspect. And there was a time where I don't know, something happened between her and her man, and we all went to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, well, I'll go, you know, because I guess I don't know something he didn't want to go or something like that. He wanted to go get high with his brothers or some shit like that, right? And it was kind of sad, you know what I mean? Because like all she wanted to do was go to Chuck E. Cheese as a family with the kids, and she's like, look, just fucking go with us, and then you could do your thing after, you know, and it didn't pan out that way. I think roughly it's because, like, he didn't want to feel like he wasn't a man or something, and if she told him something, it like some kind of psychological shit where he's like, you ain't gonna tell me what to do, fuck that, I'm gonna smoke weed with my brothers, you know what I mean? I think that's what that was. But anyways, right, so I went, we had a good time and stuff like that, and sometimes I would drive the whip, you know, with 2 different cars. And, you know, of course, having a big family, you know, kids can only fit so many car seats. And then sometimes the boys would be like, oh, I want to go with Uncle, you know. And so one of them went with me in the beginning. And then I was like, okay, now you went with me. Now it's Daniel's turn. Daniel's going to ride with me back, right? So it was funny because she was getting the kid in the seat, in the car seat, one of the other kids, right? And then I was kind of just standing there holding the door. Like, I was just a proper fucking dude, you know what I mean? Even though I had my issues and shit like that, but like I was just really respectful about certain things, and I was like real cool. I'm not gonna say all the time, because I was kind of a piece of shit sometimes too, but it's just because I don't know, some things just didn't click with me right sometimes. But I'm holding the door and I hear some rummaging, so like I guess her purse was right there, and she was putting, I think it was Anthony. She's putting Anthony in the car seat, and she's going through her purse, and I hear like and I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm kind of like, okay, like standing there being patient, and she's like. She didn't look at me. She didn't want to look at me, but she's like... And it was some money, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what's this for? She's like, just take it, fool. Just take it, right? She didn't give it directly. Because, you know, like I said, the sister didn't like it. You know what I mean? Didn't like me drinking. But she was like, hey, nigga, low key. Like, I don't want to look at you. Don't look at me. You didn't get it from me. Here, take that fucking shit. So I was like, all right. I was like, fuck it. That was my payment. You know what I mean? And I always appreciate shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, because like I said, it was hard for me out there. Couldn't hold the job, you know, I had a little issue or whatever, you know what I mean? But I ended up taking Daniel, and I would always play, like, because I was riding in it was like a lowrider Chevy, like with rims on it and shit. It was fucking gangster as fuck. It was all black. So he was sitting with me, and I used to play T.I., like... And my little nephew would throw on his hat and be like, yeah, you know. So I was like, hey, we're gonna roll to the liquor store. And he's like, oh yeah, you know. So he thought it was all gangster, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it kind of was, but not all like that, you know what I mean? It was just a little something that would feed him a little bit, peep him a little shit, you know. But I thought it was cute. But I had an EBT card, so if I took him with me, you know, I made sure that he got his snacks, he got his soda, and then I would tell him, hey, get your brother something. Like, out of respect, I try to teach them that, like, you know, get your mom something or get your brother something, you know what I mean? So he would get whatever he would get, throw it on the counter, I use the card, and then if I had a drink, you know, or get a Black and Mild, I just, real quick with the cash, you know what I mean? And that's just how I got down, you know, at that time when I was younger and adolescent and, you know, not having everything together. But like I said, now with me, like, I've learned more to kind of come into my own and leave that old me behind, you know what I mean? But these are just stories that I'm peeping to you so that you get what I'm saying, like with the concepts and stuff like that. But like I said, it took about an hour and a half to cut her hair, like to shave her down, because she kept running from me. I kept telling her, it's okay, mama, you know, slowly. Because I mean, when some of the hair, like when it's matted, right, like it's not easy to shave, because you're supposed to shave away from the hair. Like if you shave forward, it's just gonna jack up, right? So you shave down. My mom taught me that, and she's like, you just shave away. So I would shave all down. Her last peep was the buttocks right here, the tail, and then of course right here the mohawk. This was the last piece right here. But but even when I was doing the mohawk, I have to use like real thin like just a straight blade, right? So I was using the straight blade. But I also gave her a fade. You know, I gave her a fade here, gave her a fade back over here, so that way it's clean. You know, and this looks real clean. And I did a really good job because I mean, like I said, we used to take the dogs. Well, my mom takes the dogs every now and then. Her dogs, she'll take them to this lady on 95. Her name's Elsa. But I paid $65 for her, like for the clip of the nails, the shave, the shampoo, but she never gave her the mohawk like I wanted, right? So I kind of felt gypped on that. I don't think it was really her fault. I think she was just really busy, and maybe she was acting up. I don't really know, right? So anyways, eventually my mom whipped out some clips, and ever since then, like, I use my actual real clippers. That's how I did her. But with her mohawk and all that, I use the other dog clips because they're real quiet, like zzz. They're not like bang, right? So the zzz, so when that's it's real calm and quiet. And then when I'm fading her right here, I'm really close to her eye. So if it's like, you know, vibrating, she's like what the fuck, you know? Especially being a puppy, she's still a puppy, you know what I mean? Even if she is 8 months, she's still kind of like, what the fuck, you know? And they're not used to that stuff. You know what I mean? Like dogs, some people, or like the people that I met, their dogs are like very hairy because they don't believe in giving them haircuts and stuff like that. They believe in all that natural stuff. But I mean, I get it. You know what I mean? But I know that her metabolism is so high. Like she'll sleep outside. She'll be like, oh yeah, like, and even on this shave, I already shaved her, and she's hot. So you can only imagine when she was like furry at the time, before I actually started cutting her myself instead of making an appointment. She was probably hot as fuck and irritated, you know what I mean? But like I was gonna say earlier, if she's not chasing the ball and all that stuff, and like we fight and I backhand her, she's like, okay, she's submitted, right? So I was like, I'm sorry, whatever, right? Because I didn't mean to hit her like that. But because her teeth are fucking sharp, though, I'm not gonna lie. She could penetrate your skin. But sometimes she's frustrated, so I'll grab the pillow and I'll go like that, and then I'll throw it in the kitchen, and she'll go after it, and she'll start fucking with it, and then she'll start humping it. So sometimes I gotta fucking get a feel whether she wants to slap box, or if she just wants me to throw the tire, or if she's frustrated, I'll throw the pillow. Like, you know what I mean? Because she doesn't know, she can't comprehend certain things that she might need. So if I get the pillow and I do that, she's like, oh yeah. And then she goes after it, and she gets her little wiggles out, you know what I mean? And that's natural, because that's just how they are by their nature, you know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta kind of like give them some direction, because they don't really know. Kind of like a kid, right? Like a kid that is really fussy and he's like, yeah, he doesn't realize he's tired. So eventually you gotta put him down, you know, like kind of like my nephew Anthony from back home. Sometimes he would get really like amped up, like, and that was like the last bit of his energy. And I was like, look, I'll go put him down, right? And the sister would be like, okay, yeah, cool, you know, I'll take him upstairs, turn the fan on. He would always have a shirt off, so like when the fan would hit his back and you kind of like lightly brush him, he would be like, he would fucking pass out. But I would hold him like that, you know, and I would just kind of rock him. Sometimes it took like about 15-20 minutes because he didn't want to die out. Like he was like, you know what I mean? But when he died out, his hands would go. And I knew, I was like, he's knocked the fuck out. So then I would slowly step over, and I would try to be quiet because the house, it didn't have rug really. It was all like wood floor. So even just a couple steps would be like boom, boom, you know, especially upstairs. So I would rock him, you know, and then I would lay him in my bed. But I didn't want him, since even though my bed was a little lower to the ground, I didn't want him rolling off the bed. So I would put the pillows on the side and then the blanket to block him off, so like if he rolled a little, like he's not gonna fall off, you know what I mean? That'd be some scary shit. He fall off and I mean, one time I remember I went to go visit. I was coming out of Vegas, and from Vegas, when it was from Vegas, I had bought a pack of smokes, and I had like a Tolly. So I was drinking my Tolly, I was watching TV, I was just chilling, because I had like a long trip. It was like a really long, dreadful trip. Like I had to wait. I had got off work like in the middle of the night, and then I had to get a bus to get all the way over there to the actual Greyhound. And I had like about a couple hours to kill before actually catching that bus, which was like, I think like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I stayed at a bar, I chilled at the bar, smoked a cigarette, had a beer, checked the time, was waiting. And finally they were like, okay, they're boarding. So I went across the street, got on the bus. That took a fucking minute. And then of course, once I got transported to wherever I was at, I hit them up, like, hey, can you pick me up? They came and picked me up, went back, slept a little bit, woke up. Then I was like kind of like on the same routine. I was babysitting a little bit when they went to the store. I was like, yeah, do what you gotta do, you know? So little Anthony was just wearing some pants and some socks, right? Or I think he was, well, no, he wasn't wearing no socks, but he was just wearing jeans with a shirt off and everything. And there was like a lot of tile down the hallway to the room where my lady was at, and where we were gonna be sleeping when I was coming to visit and stuff. So like, I had forgot, because the kids, they were all watching TV like I was, right? But he was just doing whatever. And then I was like, remembering when I was sitting there watching TV, I was like, I'm forgetting something, right? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm like, I bought a pack of cigarettes, they're in my coat, right? So I got up because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go chief one real quick. So I went mobbing it down the hallway, you know, and then, okay, like when you're coming down the hallway, and there's the room, there's the bed right there, right? So when you creep in, you gotta kind of turn and walk. I was grabbing my jacket, and I hear uncle, right? And I heard like the pants. Like, I'm very observant, even in hearing, right? But I heard him mobbing it, like, fast. Like, and I heard the pants slip under, because they were kind of baggy. They slipped under his fucking, his little heel. Let me see what time it is, 30 minutes. It slipped under his heel, and he slipped, right? Or fucking woof. And I just remember, like, in slow motion, I looked over, and like I said, the bed's right there, right? It's just a big old bed. There's, like, the frame of the bed was wood. And you see his fucking, his little head. He's like, woo, right? Because he slipped. And he fucking came flying in. Bam! Like, you heard that shit hit hard. Like, his fucking dome hit that bed. Bam! I was like, oh my God. And I was like, so in shock. Like, I fucking totally fucking fucked my cigarettes in my coat. I just dropped my coat. I went and I grabbed him. And I picked him up because, like, kids, when they hit something like that right away, it doesn't register right away. It takes, like, you count to, like, 8 seconds, right? And I grabbed him, I picked him up, and I was like, oh, shit, here it comes. Here it comes, and I'm holding him tight, trying to suck the energy in, you know? And he's like, ah! And he had a big old fucking bump right there. I carried him, I rocked him. I'm like, it's okay, you know? And I was holding him. And I went in the freezer, and they had, like, bowlies. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's like the little ice creams, right, where you could snap it. They're like Mexican fucking... To me, they're like Hispanic or Mexican ice creams, you know? And it was sad, you know what I mean? Like, but I went and I was holding him, and then I grabbed a bowlie, and then I fucking snapped it. And then I gave him one, you know, to calm him down, and he was sucking on it. And I was like, see? I'm like, you need to be careful. And I wasn't mad at him. You know what I mean? And maybe that was a surprise to him, because I don't know. Maybe if he fucks up like that, they would spank him or get mad. I don't know, right? I don't know the story. But I went to lay him on the couch, and the boys were watching me. And I was like, see? I'm like, do you see why Daddy doesn't... And I was telling him, not me, but telling him why his daddy tells him not to run. And I laid him down, and I was like, see? I'm like, that's why Daddy tells you not to be running. And then when I went to give him the bowlie, he had, like, these eyes that were like, you know, like, he was just like, I don't know, it was weird. Like he fell in love with me even more. Like, oh my God, like, this fool's taking care of me, you know, he's real good to me. Like, he calmed me down, you know, like, it was just like the cutest thing. I'll never fucking forget it. And he's over there like, sucked on that bowlie. Eventually, at some point, he passed out. You know what I mean? He fucking fell asleep. Sometimes he would fall asleep with a bowlie in his hand, like, that shit was funny. It would remind me of all of us, because, like, a lot of us, like, every weekend there was always, like, some shit cracking off, right? Like, they were drinking, they were fucking the dude Jesse or whatever. He would always be sorry about the name, man, but he would always be like, he had a big old speaker, and he would play like DJ shit. They plug it up with their fucking YouTube thing or their phone for the Bluetooth, right? And it'd be like, bam, 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 bam. So, oh man, it's just funny though, like how everything just kind of went, because like some of us would fall asleep like that with a drink in her hand. This fool's over here with a bowlie, like, it's like, okay, like your history is carrying up. That's gonna be you when you're 21 years old with a beard. That's just kind of how I looked at it, you know. Some of us would make jokes and be like, look, that fool looks like he's got a beard. Anyways, I'm gonna get off that whole subject. I forgot the whole point, but so that was the thing. Back to the juicing, right? Well, that way some people get a good insight on me, like how I was back home when it comes to like family or relationships and stuff like that. Because I don't know what people think of me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, not that that's a bad thing. People are gonna think what they want. You know what I mean? But I'm just giving you insight about like how I could be like a good family man, and you know, I've done that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if people look at me to be like, "Has that fool ever changed a diaper?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have kids personally. I've only been married one time. I was trying to get married a second, but that shit didn't really work out. Obviously, it was the wrong person. You know, but anyways, like I have those qualities, you know what I'm saying, regardless of my history. So, but with the juice, okay, so what I was studying about, like, I'm going to get back to the lymphatic system, right? So, like, a lot of it that I was reading, it said exercising, doing certain breathing techniques, the dry brushing, cold showers will get the lymphatic system moving. But see, those methods are just kind of like, I took a cold shower earlier, don't get me wrong, like, after I got her all showered up and everything, I took, like, a warm shower, and then I started to press it to get cold. I probably took, like, a 2 or 3 minute cold shower, like, not extremely cold, but cold enough where I'm like, oof. But it didn't bother me. You know, I've been trying to get used to the cold lately, so eventually I can work in other than just the heat aspect that I was doing at the Mad Dog Fitness or over here, doing the steam, doing the sauna and stuff like that. Eventually I'm going to work my way into, like, doing cold, because I heard, like, cold baths or cold icing and shit like that's, like, really good for the body. Oh, my homie hit me up. Oh, that's cool. He likes my video. So, it was my homie Raymond right now. He just texted me. But what I was trying to say, I want to make sure I get enough information in here before the video is about to cut out. Because I usually get a good hour on this. I already erased some of the other videos so I can get this one rolling. But anyways, so those are the studies or the research I was coming across. Was the brushing, the dry brushing, the cold showers, the exercising and stuff like that. But to me it was like, okay, that's not good enough. Like, what will push the lymphatic system? Like, other than water and lemon? Because I read at one point it said water and lemon will get it moving. But I didn't believe that. Like, I know that lemon and water will do other things, right? But, for instance, like, there has to be a specific type of juice or something that will get that system moving, right? Like, there's always a cleanse to it. And I was reading real quick. I was going through some shit. Because I'm real fast at, like, picking or finding stuff real fast. Like, if I see something, I'm like, okay, that's got to be the actual source to what they're saying, you know? So, like, when I was going through it, at some point in time at the very top of the list, because they were like, oh, okay, these are some of the cleansings that you can do, right? The very first one, because it said, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? The other shit at the bottom was, like, bullshit. Like, I could just tell, because I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense. Like I think it said, like, kale, I think it said, like, yogurt, or I don't know, certain things that I know that's not gonna flow right through the body. Like, you can just the history I've already learned within fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like if somebody were to say, oh, broccoli will do it. Broccoli has magnesium. Why would that move the blood? Like, why would that? You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. Like, that would morally just kind of clean the gut system a little bit, because it's like a brush. From what I was hearing, like with the broccoli, it kind of brushes through delicately through your gut lining and stuff like that. So, from what I came up with, it's watermelon. Right? Watermelon has a certain pigmentation to it that will kind of like flow easily. It has like a certain vitamin to it, right? That will kind of like pump the resource. But another one I want to say mainly is cucumber, because that was at the top of the list. Watermelon and cucumber. And now I can get more into that later and probably explain that. Like, I'll look up the actual vitamins and certain things inside the watermelon that would more than likely make sense to show like how the lymphatic system would pump. But this one for sure, right? The cucumber, because it has a lot of water content, but it also has vitamins. But something in it though too, it would help with the lymphatic system, like on a cleanse base, right? But this has a lot of good water content, and eating it is not bad. But here's another thing though too that you'll find very funny, right? I used to have a friend. She was a homegirl of mine. I used to work with her at the Riverside. I haven't seen her in years. Here and there, I think I would see her. Like, I saw her maybe twice out of the same year. Some years back. She was just a homie of mine, right? She was real fucking short, you know, a real cute little short girl, you know? And she used to look up to me, you know, in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? And she was younger, but she was funny because, like, she would do, like, little research and stuff, because we were kind of, like, almost into the same thing, like, spiritual stuff, and, you know, she's like, oh, we could do magic, or, oh, we could pray for money, and check this out, bro, this, you know, all this crazy shit. Anyways, long story short, she had showed me some shit. She's like, hey, she's like, look, I came across this website that shows pictures of food that actually matches your body parts. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, look. So she showed a walnut, right? And you know how walnuts have curves and all that stuff? And then they showed a brain. The walnuts actually, like actual walnuts, like when you eat walnuts, there are minerals and vitamins in there that actually give your brain, like some of the fats or whatever in there, it gives your brain resources to like kind of like you're feeding your brain, right? Like with the walnut. So, and then there was other stuff too, right? Like I don't know, just like weird little food groups that would match up with certain body parts, like your heart, your lungs, you know, your liver. And if you think about it, if you really look at the cucumber, right, it's green. And then when you strip it, I actually stripped just so I could just kind of show you guys. Sometimes you'll see these little lines here, right? They kind of look like veins. That's how the lymphatic system looks. It's all green. So, realistically, it's probably like I want to say like an antioxidant of a dosage that pushes the lymphatic system. Like something kind of feeds it to start pumping more. So I'm going to start eating. I already ate some earlier. I ate it with my salad. Like I had rice, some salad, a little bit of cheese on top, and then I had cut that up in like little small pieces and put lemon on it and put it in the bowl, and I ate it like that. And you can eat a fuckload of this stuff, you know what I mean? And so you're not gonna get fat. You're not gonna accumulate calories. It has water content, and then it's gonna help your lymphatic system just as well as the watermelon. And I'll show you the watermelon juice that I did, because like you can blend it and still drink it like that with the pulp, but I drained it all out, and it's like really, really clean. So this is the juice. It's pretty clean. It has no pulp or anything like that. See, it's real clean. It's maybe not as bright, just because of the fact that it was like when I cut it open, it wasn't as pink. Let's see what that is. I think that's about 10 or 12 ounces. It's really good for you when you drink it. So like whatever you eat, right? Like the stuff that I ate, me drinking this, it's just gonna flow right through me. Like it's gonna rip like all through the digestive system. When this gets into the digestive system, it starts to help the collagen, the pigmentation and shit like that. And then honestly too, like if you drink this like almost every day, your skin's gonna look fucking fantastic. You know what I mean? You're gonna be glowing. Your blood's gonna be real good. The content of it is real. It's basically, so long story short, it's just fucking healthy as fuck for you. And that's basically, I forget what it is. I think it's like I heard it from Vegetable Police Kid. It's like some kind of like it starts with a P, I think, like potent, or I don't know. There's just something in there in the actual watermelon itself that helps your pigmentation. So like basically like your skin, like it's a rejuvenation for your skin. It's real fresh. It has water. You know, a lot of keeps you hydrated. If you ever get migraines, right, like really heavy, hard migraines or headaches, you just drink watermelon juice. Drink plenty of watermelon juice, and your migraine will just dissipate. It'll just disappear, or your headache. Because basically, like when you get shit like that, it's because your stomach, your intestinal lines, like let's say you drink a lot of coffee, or you take aspirin and shit like that, right? Aspirin and coffee and all that. And then you get these migraines. It's because you're really dry. You're really dry on the inside. You're not hydrated. Some people think like, oh, I drink a glass of water a day. That's not enough. It really isn't. It goes by your fucking weight. Like it took me a while to learn that. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's like that. It really is. Let me check the time. Okay, cool. Still got some time. So it really does matter on like what you put in your body. You know what I mean? And how you keep yourself young. And like I said, like if anybody ever read the Bible, in the beginning of the Bible it says that they lived over 800 to 900 years, right? Maybe even over 1,000 years. But some people get it misconstrued where they're like, no, because ever since sin entered the world, now man's time is in half now. You can't live like that no more. Yeah, but it was written by man though. So like not that all of it is incorrect. I'm sure some of it's like a little fucked up, right? It's written in a way that you have to try to figure it out, right? You have to always try to figure the shit out. But in reality, the way I hear it is like, yeah, because the conditionings of this world, right, will cut your time in half. So like eating shitty, not meditating, not grounding, not burying yourself in the ground, not doing certain things is gonna not prolong your life, right? I mean, look at me, dude. Like, I look good. You know what I mean? Like, my nephew, he knows what's up. Because I remember when he saw one of my pictures from Facebook, he's like, fuck, uncle, you look fucking young as fuck, you know? And I told him, dude, it's the immortal shit. You know what I mean? Like, because you could be immortal or you can have immortality. Immortality is a whole different fucking level. You know what I mean? That's kind of like... I forget that movie, or it's a show actually, right? Like Highlander. He's like, you know, with the fucking sword. They show so many things about Highlander where like he was around for centuries, and then he's seen the world change, like from where he was like in let's say like in the Netherlands, you know, where there's a lot of land and stuff like that, and they had teepees and shit, and then all of a sudden he's in New York or Chicago and they got buildings and cities and cars. Like he had to adjust to all that shit, you know what I mean? So they don't just come up with these concepts just because it was something they made up. I believe a lot of things that they do tell either in shows or in movies, it's some shit that really fucking happened. You know what I mean? Or there's some kind of proof there that they fell upon, and they're like, oh, let's write this down. This will be good material to make a show out of it. And then they make fucking money off of it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've known dudes that got shot in the head or people that got shot in the back. Like certain things that you would expect, like out of those wounds, they should have been dead and they didn't die. Why? Right? And they say, oh, the willpower. Okay, they had strength in their mind and their body, right? They had the willpower. If willpower can do that, like, oh, I got tapped twice in the head and I'm still functioning, I can still think, like, I can still move. You're not paralyzed or anything, you know what I mean? You can blink still, you can talk, you can communicate, you're still quick, you know what I mean? Okay, what else are you capable of? The willpower to fucking, even to drive yourself to the hospital after you got shot twice in the head. That's fucking very damn impressive to me, you know what I mean? And then also, nigga, get. Fuck, bitch. One thing, okay, my mom knew this guy, his name was Carlos. God rest his soul, he had a heart attack some years back or whatever, you know, but he was fairly out of shape. He was enjoying his life, his retirement. He got into real estate. He was in the special ops unit. Then he became a CHP officer. And then he dabbled in real estate and made fairly well good money. So, of course, he spoiled himself a lot. Didn't watch his health. And that's what got him, right? So, anyways, that dude, when I really think about it, he taught me a lot. Like, he taught me keto, you know, and all that shit. Like, we trained one time. He gave me a lot of insight about some things, and then he even told my mom, well, my mom ended up telling me, right, there was some stories where, like, since he was a CHP officer, there was some people that would show up at the AMR or whatever, or their emergency in the hospital, right? So if they were in the emergency in the hospital, basically, some of these fools that would get stabbed or they got shot, right, they were from wounds that 100%ly you could survive from. Those wounds weren't shit, right? Compared to the individuals that they already kind of previously knew that had those wounds, or the doctors would say that they have those wounds, and yes, they're going to survive, right? But they ended up dying. And then she's like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, they would just die. And then she's like, why? He's all, it's because of the fact that they gave up, right? Like, they didn't have the willpower. They were just like, oh, this is too much. And they accepted it, and right? So what does that mean? If you accept something, that's like what it says in the Bible. If you accept death, it's gonna happen, because your fortitude of your mind let go. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what I mean. Willpower will prolong you to want to live, to believe into something, right? Like, a lot of it's power. Like, I believe it's energy-based power, right? Frequencies and shit like that. Like I said, like women, like when they touch you, like, oh, you're so funny. They're touching you because they're feeling your energy. They want to know where you're at. Like, are you a weirdo? Are you like a good dude? Are you a sexual human being? You know what I mean? Like what do you have to offer? It's the same thing. Like, when you touch a woman, you feel good. Like, you know, you want to show her that she's safe and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But for me, I know I'm different from every other guy. I know I'm different from every other guy, any fucking guy. I know certain things, like when a woman's really actually with me, and if I really tune in, like really hardcore, they're like, holy shit, like, I know all your spots. I mean, it's just something about me. I don't know what it is really. Like, I mean, I think I know what it is, but I say I don't know what it is. But like, I know what you like. You know what I mean? I can just feel that energy. I know what you like. I know what you don't like. I know how you want me to give it to you. I know what you're thinking. I know like certain smells and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of that. Like, most people are kind of like, that's too much. You know what I mean? Like, because if I know too much, then of course that concept in your head of being scared and being like, oh, well, if he knows that, what else does he know? You know what I mean? And then I might take advantage. I'm not like that. You know what I mean? But I'm just letting you know that my intelligence is so sophisticated on that area, and a lot of other areas as well. Where does it come from? You know what I mean? Who was I another lifetime before? Or who was I before I am embodied into this body? You know what I mean? Because, I mean, basically that's all it really is. We're all just vessels, a spirit in a vessel in this body having this experience in this lifetime. You know what I mean? Just like the Matrix stuff. So, like, I mean, everybody watches the Matrix. Everybody understands it. Or they want to watch it. And they're like, something about that movie. Even my brother and his girl, way years ago, they went to go see it. It's probably not the same girl, but but you know, when they went to go see it, it was like a 1997 movie, right? First ever came out. People were just like something inside them when they watched it. They're like, ooh, like, because it's us. That's how it really fucking is. Like, the shit that they show you in there, those things, we could probably actually do those things. You know what I mean? Like, something called to us about that movie. That movie was really, really fucking real. Now, the very, very last one they made, that's some weird devil fucking perverse shit that has no content to what it was back then. You know what I mean? But you know what? Like, when you watch the first one, he gets shot, right? At the end. And he fucking dies. And the girl's like, no. She's like, you can't be dead. She's like the lady that told me, the prophecy lady, right? Because it's pretty much like Bible based. So she says, I would fall in love with that man. So you can't be dead. So she gives him a kiss and she tells him, I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm in love with you, right? If you really think about it, it has a lot of good concepts there. Because people that might love you or care about you, they're afraid to tell you. You know, or they don't want to tell you because it's not the social thing. It's not the social norm. Or, oh, no, it's not normal. That's weird. No, it's not, dude. I had this one white boy, like years ago, I was jogging through the fucking, through the park. And this dude started spitting out, like, truth. And, you know, this is when the COVID thing happened and people were trying to wake up in their spirituality and shit like that. And he's like, you know what, bro? I just want to tell you. And I was like a good 20 feet away after I was leaving. He's like, I just want to tell you. you know, you're special, you're a good person. He's like, and I love you. He's like, and I hope and wish the best for you, right? And it was weird. I was like, oh, I love you too, you know, like, I didn't even fucking know him like that. But he was so fucking cool. Like, he was really coming into himself. I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's doing good. But like, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't sit here and say, oh, this is normal and this is not, and da-da-da-da. Hey, man, if you feel love for a person, or even if you see a bum on the street, and you're like, hey, bro, you know, you give him some money, give him a fucking hug, dude. You know what I mean? Give him a hug, shake his hand, show some respect. You know what I mean? Because what if you needed that? What if you were on the outs? You don't know what he's going through. You know what I mean? Sometimes they get scared. Like, the guy I tried to reach for a hug, he went like that. So there was some trauma there. Maybe he got beat up. He was real older, skinny. You know, maybe, I don't know, maybe some tweaker fucking was like, give me your money, and fucking hit him. You know what I mean? So he didn't know what my intention was, or he had some fucking trauma there. It was just fucking sad. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a fucking good dude. So now I'm gonna have to cut the video before it gets any later. But yeah, so that's pretty much a lot of the stuff that I wanted to get out for a little bit. I want to get my dog in the show too. You know what I mean? Get some extra views. Anyways, yeah. So that's just I don't know how I even want to say what this really video was mainly about or whatever, but just to pretty much get past all the bullshit that I was dealing with, and just leave it to chance, see what's gonna be the outcome. And you know, I got a couple options. I'm just gonna weigh them out, and like, I'm gonna try to be more positive and just push out more videos and just say fuck it. And like I said, the lymphatic system, you want to get it flowing, use plenty of watermelon juice, and then you want to do you could probably drink it too. You could probably juice it with the cucumber, or I would just suggest just to eat it. Like, eat it once a day, you know, with a salad or something like that, and then drink the watermelon juice and just get it flowing. It'll really help your digestive system. It'll get things going, you know. Your skin will look really hella good if you care about your skin. Don't use any of those skin products. I know a lot of women use that stuff, but it's just a lot of gunk, a lot of foundation. It clogs up your pores, make you look like shit. And then, to be honest, like, if you do your eyebrows a particular way, you know, pencil or whatever, that's kind of sexy. But if you have a natural face, give yourself some credit. If you have a natural, beautiful face, you don't need no makeup. You don't need no makeup. You know, there was this girl that I was talking to. I don't know what happened really with that. Or maybe she met someone. I don't know. Or like I said, maybe it was me. I was a fucking dick or something, you know. I'm sorry, sweetie. But you know what? She had a very fucking beautiful face. Like, she just had natural beauty. And I love that shit. I love girls that have natural beauty and they have really fine hair. You know what I mean? Like, that's a fucking big old turn on to me. You know what I mean? But if you're one of those girls that just slaps on and cakes on makeup, like, yeah, you're fucking up your face. You're going to get pimples. You're going to get all that shit. You want to do your little eyelashes and do your eyebrows. That's cute. That's fine. You know, put a little whatever lipstick. But you don't need all that foundation. You don't need all that creams and stuff like that. That's just really going to fuck your shit up. It really is. It might seem like it's working, but over time, it's going to do a lot of damage. So like I said, this will help. This will help with skin just as well as, you know, just like water, drinking a lot of water. Your kinkles or wrinkles go away, you know, you just, because you're dried out from the stomach aspect, too much coffee or whatever foods you accumulate in your body. But anyways, I'm going to call it a night. Everybody say goodbye to Lulu. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to continue to throw up the videos. You guys have a good night. I'm gonna do some workouts. I did some workouts before I did this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the content or whatever, this entertainment. And like I said, I'll let you guys know about the updates and stuff like that. And I'm doing the running. I'm putting a lot more running in there. So you guys have a good night and enjoy whatever I threw out there, right? And just think about everything I said. Have a good night.